team version of the Big Ten tournament. Both teams were tested in the semifinals yesterday. Ohio State gave up 2 points to Michigan. Illinois survived Penn State to get to where we are today. It's great to be with you alongside Chase Buchanan, the former Ohio State Buckeye and doubles national champion. My name is Chris Fosters. You know what it's like to play in this tournament all too well, and specifically the championship match. What's it like?
Well, it's for bragging rights, and it's for what you work for all year. So, there's a lot on the line today, and it's a great test for these teams, especially that are looking to go into the NCAA tournament ready, and it's going to be a good match today.
We mentioned the history between Ohio State and Illinois. Again, they've won every Big Ten tournament there ever has been. So this is the premier rivalry in Big Ten men's tennis.
Yep, it's pretty historic in the conference, and it's the match that, as a former Buckeye, every year you look forward to Michigan and Illinois, and those are the matches that you want to win and prepare for. So this is a big one today.
So unsurprisingly, these teams met last year in Iowa City, and Ohio State won 4-0. Illinois thinks they can keep it much closer this year. Ohio State won the regular season. Illinois' only blemish in conference play was when they played the Buckeyes. We've got more from the Big Ten Men's Championship coming up next. We get started with the doubles point around the bend. One big point is on the line as we get ready for the doubles portion of the Big Ten Men's Tennis Championship. Here is the lineup. 3 doubles teams going at it, Chase, and only playing one set. So this is really a shot out of the cannon to get things started.
Yeah, it's really important to get off to a good start here for both teams. When you're playing a 6 and it's no ad scoring, getting up 2-0, getting up 3-1 is going to be extremely important to get the momentum and the energy in the building on your side.
So a little bit more about the scoring in doubles. You saw the 3 match pairings, but there's only 1 point at stake. So whichever team wins 2 of the doubles matches is going to win that 1 doubles point before we click over to singles. The 3 boxes that we have, and we'll be rotating through all 3 doubles matches as we get underway from Ann Arbor. The top box that you see is the 1 doubles match, and so we'll begin there. And this is Martin Joyce and J.J. Wolf for Ohio State at the bottom of your screen. And for Illinois at the top, you have Alex Kovacevic and Alex Brown. Brown to serve to get us started. And that's a point for Ohio State to get us going. Both teams lost the doubles point yesterday in the semifinal, and as good as Ohio State always is, and you know this as well as anybody, Chase, the formula to beat the Buckeyes oftentimes goes through the doubles point. Definitely.
When you've got a team that wins this many singles matches, it's so important to try to get the doubles point.
Well, the chair umpire is putting the scores in.
That should get us back to 15 all.
Yes.
A little bit of a tight start there. 2 shanked returns, one of them with a whiff.
Keep an eye on J.J. Wolf in particular for Ohio State. With the white bandana on. One of the best singles player, in fact, the #1 ranked singles player in the nation, but he lost his doubles match yesterday and his singles match. And Ty Tucker, Ohio State's head coach, said he looked a little tight as well.
Yep. Said he's looking for him to bounce back today and play a strong match. As the #1 player in the country, that's your leader, and he's looking to come out today and be ready to go.
We got our scores now, 30-15. Just underway in the first set. There's a miss hit by Martin Joyce. Knots things up at 30 all.
Let's watch and see how much he uses that body serve.
Already some good energy from Martin Joyce in Ohio State. That's something that's really preached by Ty Tucker. Energy throughout the match.
Yep. Starts in practice every single day. I know he preaches that to the team, just bringing the energy from point one all the time.
So remember, no ad scoring. So even though we would typically have a deuce situation here,
let's see who takes it.
The next point is going to win the game. So Illinois rallies to take game one, and it's a 1-0 lead in one doubles. A good start for Illinois in the top doubles pairing. And let's introduce you to the two doubles pairing. Kobelt and Seelig for Ohio State against Gomes and Budic for Illinois. Ohio State already up 1-0 in two doubles. It's funny because even though Ohio State is supposed to be quote-unquote vulnerable with the doubles point, they've only dropped the doubles points twice all season.
Yeah, the doubles point for OSU has always been one of our focuses as a team. When we were there, we practiced quite a bit, more than I would say the other teams on doubles. It was a big focus of Coach Tucker's.
Ty Tucker told us that yesterday when Ohio State played Michigan in the semifinal. It was a packed house, about 600 spectators rooting very hard for Michigan. So a true road environment for Ohio State yesterday in the semifinal. And a new experience for a lot of the Ohio State players competing in an environment like that. Doubles is just a much different game, right? More up at the net. You have to have good chemistry with your partner.
Yeah, much quicker. It's much more fast twitch, and there's some more strategy that really goes into playing with somebody else. So you know, since you have your teammate, you kind of need to know where they're going to be and what you're going to do based on what they like. So when you play with a partner all season, you start to develop a really good relationship with them and their tendencies and how you can help set them up to be successful.
Alex Kobelt and Kyle Seelig at the bottom of your screen for Ohio State. They bring in an 11-match win streak to the Big Ten tournament. 18-4 overall on the regular season. And they're in cruise control right now, a quick 2-0 lead in the first and only set of the two doubles point.
And Kobelt's really had a good season. This is the first year that he's been real active in the lineup and he's been great for the Buckeyes.
A redshirt junior from New Albany, Ohio. Up at the front of the net right now with the Ohio State cap on backwards. Some long points there, baseline to baseline, contrary to what you oftentimes see in a doubles point.
Yeah, I think you'll see Kobelt wanting to get up to the net as much as possible. Seelig, in general, likes to be at the baseline. A really good grinder, good ground strokes, consistent.
It's where you think being tall could really help you in a doubles situation in particular. Just having a 6'5" guy at the front of the net takes away a lot of the court.
It does. It does, and it makes it hard for, especially when Seelig is serving, it makes it hard for that return to get through the middle of the court.
That was pulled by Seelig. Budic and Guy Gomes for Illinois, top of your screen, have been the primary two pairing for Brad Dancer in the Big Ten tournament. They're 8-5 overall this year. Saw a lot of action in the regular season in the three doubles position. So this is a tough matchup for them today.
They just got themselves 2 break points to get back.
So a big early point here for Gomes and Budic of Illinois. Trying to break to get on the board in this set. And they do.
Something so important that we just saw that game for doubles is the first serve percentage. I think that game he had a double fault and missed 3 or 4 first serves, and that just gives, especially if you don't have a huge weapon as your serve, it really gives the other team an upper hand.
There is Ty Tucker, Ohio State's head coach, in his 20th season as we return to the one doubles court. Alex Kovacevic with the serve, and too hot to handle for J.J. Wolf. This is an interesting preview of the one singles matchup we'll see later today. Kovacevic for Illinois versus Wolf of Ohio State.
A few early errors from Wolf on the return games. That's something that has improved for him a lot in the last 2 years, has been his return.
Too long from Alex Brown. There's Brad Dancer, a Michigan native. He grew up just south of East Lansing, in fact. He was a standout tennis player at Michigan State and has done a fantastic job taking over for Craig Tiley and really keeping Illinois among the nation's elite tennis programs. For sure.
Those are big shoes to fill. I mean, Tiley won a national title there and had some of the best teams in really the history of college tennis. And Brad's done a great job taking over for him and keeping Illinois in the mix every single year. So that's 2 deuce points, 1 on serve for Illinois. That's so important, especially against a team, like Ohio State, where if you let it get away from you, it can go quick.
Brad Dancer talks to Alex Brown right now. One half of his top doubles pairing. And remember, you mentioned the break situations. Those were the points that did not go Illinois' way when these teams met in the regular season, as we get our first look at 3 doubles.
John McNally with a nice finish there at the net.
He's paired up with Hunter Tubert in this 3 doubles pairing for Ohio State. And this is actually a new pairing for Illinois. When you look at their 3 doubles pair, Fletcher Scott and Keenan Mayo, this is the first time they've linked up in the Big Ten tournament. And this is Fletcher Scott's second doubles competition period this season, his second doubles match this year.
Yeah, it's a little surprising to see a lineup switch like that in the Big Ten final. So Tubert there tried to pinch the middle going up the line. As you saw, the 2 baseliners were on the half of the court, and they were going to keep going with each other. And Tubert was going to try to pinch the middle and take that ball because you can't really get by it because the other player's blocking the ball at the other side of the net.
So it's really interesting to see Tubert and McNally tested here. They have not lost all season. They are 18-0 this year. All 18 of their matches have come in the 3 doubles position. And again, against a new pairing for Illinois, Scott and Mayo look pretty good.
They do. They do. This is a tough team for Ohio State. I think down at court 3, you've got McNally and then your senior, who's a really good doubles player. This is definitely one of their strongest points, I would say, in doubles.
No problem with the serve receive.
It's a great return there. It's a big point. 15-all is a big point of every game. It puts up 30-15, and now you get a break point if you win one of the next 2.
No ad scoring. We play just 1 set in doubles. Consider this a miniature best-of-3 series. There's only one doubles point on the line here, so whichever team wins 2 of the doubles matchups wins the one doubles point. What didn't you like there?
That was a hesitant return. You know, I just don't like when I see a lack of aggressiveness and commitment to the shot. If you're going to miss it going for it the right way, not trying to feel it into the court. You see that's what happens then. The other players sense it. A little bit of confidence is like, oh, he didn't really want that ball.
So Scott and Mayo in doubles 3 take a 3-2 lead. We return to doubles 1 right now. Joyce and Wolf for Ohio State against Kovacevic and Brown for Illinois. This matchup has been close from the beginning, 2-2. And in game 5, we're level at 15 with Alex Brown serving.
Some good ball in there.
And you noted how J.J. Wolf for Ohio State with the white headband maybe looked a little bit tight when we were getting going in the doubles point. You keep an eye on if he looks more at ease with the match well underway.
I think what everybody's going to start to settle in here a little bit. You know, right around now, especially in the matches that are, you know, not up or down, but even, and you just start to get your teeth into the match a little bit, and then the nerves go away, and then it's time to compete.
After the big serve from Illinois, they serve for the game. And when we've checked in on this matchup, Alex Brown has looked really good behind the service line, and he's keeping Ohio State off balance.
He has. He's had that lefty serve. Has an ace so far and a couple free points.
Over to doubles 2. This is the most lopsided of the 3 doubles matches so far. Cobalt and Seelig handling Gomes and Budic 4-1. And this is a good bounce-back set so far for Cobalt and Seelig. They got shut out yesterday in the doubles point.
Yeah, this is important too for the team to see one of their other courts up 4-1. It you know, it gives you not some breathing room, but some confidence that, you know, your other guys are going to get a W on this court maybe, and it lets you loosen up a little bit on your court and try to play a little better.
When we spoke to Brad Dancer yesterday, he admitted that the Budic-Gomes pairing has been somewhat perplexing this year. They were unbeatable at the beginning of the season. They have become very inconsistent over the latter part of this season. And Brad Dancer, in no uncertain terms, said that the 2 doubles match could very well be the swing point, certainly for the doubles point, and maybe even the entire match. Gomes and Vuk Budic trying to stay alive in this 2 doubles matchup. And it's now 4-2. Gomes and Budic get one back.
It's a good 1-2 combo there from the I formation.
What do you mean I formation?
He stood up in the middle of the court there. And so the returners didn't know which side he was going to pop up at, or he was going to stay in the middle. And he kind of just stayed in the middle and knocked it off. Here's another example of I formation.
Some pre-serve deception. This new pairing of Scott and Mayo for Illinois absolutely holding their own right now, serving at the bottom of your screen. And just 2 points away from taking a 4-3 lead. Again, we are only playing one set in these doubles matches.
You can really see how quickly it moves. I mean, we're already getting 4-3 here after this game.
That one doesn't clear the net.
One of the things that formation does as the server is it takes away a target for the returner. You know, when you line up traditionally, the returner's thinking cross court for sure. And so when you line up an I, you're throwing off like the general setup that a returner has, and I'm taking this ball cross court and then I'm looking to get up to the net or something after that.
So how do you beat that?
What I always tried to do is keep everything in the alleys. So I wanted a target when I played. So I would just say I'm picking this alley or I'm picking the other alley, and that's my target. And I'm not worrying about the guy up at the net.
Back at 2 doubles. Gomes and Budic trying to hang around for Illinois. They have already broken Kobelt and Seelig, and now are 1 point away from doing it again. Heard some of the encouragement between Kobelt and Seelig. And even though this is so quick, this doubles point, you are going to get the ebbs and flows, and I would imagine there are still times when you have to rely on your partner to pick you up a little bit.
You do, Chris, yeah. There's another break on Seelig's serve.
And so suddenly, remember, this 2 doubles matchup was 4-1. Gomes and Budic have rattled off 2 straight points, and it's now 4-3. Back to doubles match 1. Alex Kovacevic snaps it in play, and a great return from J.J. Wolf. Chase, you said that's one of the most improved aspects of Wolf's game.
It is. He's really locked it in here in the last 2 years, where it was a little shaky when he first got to college, but now he's got one of the best returns in the country.
So far the doubles match has not disappointed, neither this one nor the other 2. So we're even 10-10 across the 3 doubles matches. Joyce and Wolf, top of the screen for Ohio State with a chance to break. Right into the net, and Kovacevic and Brown stay alive.
I like that miss, though. That was an aggressive. I mean, that compared to the other miss that we saw earlier from Tubert, I like that. I mean, that makes the net player a little bit more honest because he knows that JJ might go right at him, and it also gets some of the. I mean, that's a break point. There's some nerves there. But he got it out. I like that.
Too long from Alex Brown, and Joyce and Wolf hang on to take a 4-3 lead in 1 doubles. J.J. Wolf with the towel and the white bandana, the Big Ten Athlete of the Year. He's the #1 ranked player in the country in singles. And what an improvement for J.J. Wolf. He was a rising sophomore, yes, last year, but I'm not sure how many people expected him to have this kind of season as a junior.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's put the work in. That's one thing that we got on the phone when we talked to Coach Tucker, that JJ's willing to put the work in on the court 4 to 6 hours a day, and he loves this sport. So I think he's earned it, and he's had one of the really historic seasons in college so far.
And that's what Brad Dancer said, Illinois' head coach, about J.J. Wolf of Ohio State, winning his first 30 singles matches this year, one of the best college tennis seasons he's ever seen. This 2 doubles matchup has become suddenly exciting, with Gomes and Budic serving to tie it up at 4. But Kobelt and Seelig look good in this point.
They do. It seems that C-League hasn't been able to hold serve, but I'm pretty sure they haven't been able to hold serve on this side either. And it's kind of been trading back and forth. So if they can get this break here, that's going to be pretty important, because then I think you've got Cobalt serving next. It's a good opportunity there on the second serve.
And a pretty good second serve, too.
Yeah.
Just period. And we get another second serve coming up right here. Guy Gomes, the redshirt sophomore from Newport Beach, behind the line.
It's a double fault to give him the break. That's a tough one.
And now Cobalt and Selig, as you said, are serving to put two doubles away. And they're off to a good start.
Yeah, Cobalt's got a great serve. He's 6'5" lefty, live arm, a lot of free points, and a good doubles player.
And again, Brad Dancer of Illinois said that this was going to be the pivotal match for the doubles point, the two doubles showdown. You were touching on this a little bit earlier, Chase, but Gomes and Budic have gotten 2 of their 3 points in this match on the break.
They have. They've been, so they've broken C-League twice. And I don't think they've gotten any Cobalt service game, but they're in this one. And, 15-30, this is a big, big point. That's a great second serve there, and a big forehand. And he's got a big, big forehand that he took right at him.
Gomes and Budic, though, they just don't go away.
They don't. They caught C-League trying to pinch the middle there.
Budic with the fist pump to his partner, Guy Gomes. A little more pressure now after the service error.
Good second serve there, right into his body.
You said that a couple of times now.
It's one of the most... It's one of the things that doesn't get talked about enough in tennis is how good people's second serves need to be. Because every match, as we watched today, how many big points are played on second serves? Because you miss your first serve 40% of the time.
40% of the time.
Yeah.
Good volley with match point on the line, but Budic pulls it wide, and Cobalt and Selig take two doubles 6-3. And now Ohio State needs to win just one more doubles match to secure the doubles point and send us along to singles in the Big Ten Men's Tennis Championship. On to three doubles now. McNally and Tubert are down in this game, but up in the set 5-4. Scott and Mayo playing together for the first time in the Big Ten tournament, and just the second time all season have hung tough against a really good Ohio State pairing of McNally and Tubert. Tubert, as I know you know, Chase, is an excellent doubles player, a Big Ten doubles champion in 2017.
Yeah, he's played a lot of doubles matches for the Buckeyes, big moments, and has been a rock. As Tucker described, in the heart and soul of the team.
He probably picked up a few pointers from you along the way, I would imagine.
I've been out there a time or two.
Great shot down the alley, and Scott and Mayo are still alive. They knock this thing up at 5-5. Let's check in with doubles one now, the top matchup. Kovacevic and Brown at the bottom of your screen for Illinois. Wolf and Joyce up top.
Well, this is what you want if you're the Buckeyes. You got Joyce, your senior serving volleyer, trying to serve this out.
Ohio State is gunning for its fourth straight Big Ten tournament championship. A streak that was interrupted in 2015 by Illinois, the last team not named Ohio State to win the Big Ten tournament. Brown had a hard time handling that serve. And pulls it into the net.
He did a good job of making it. I mean, he got back to neutral there, but gave him an error off that.
So now this is not only match points for Joyce and Wolf, but this is for the doubles point. Ohio State has already won the two doubles match. And now try and secure an important 1-0 lead in the Big Ten tournament. Looked like a magic act there from J.J. Wolf, but Ohio State stays alive.
Yeah, that was pretty quick hands by J.J. there, showing you a little bit what he has to work with talent-wise.
Wolf and Joyce switched hairdos from last year. Last year it was Joyce who had the headband and the long flow up top.
Point there to finish off the doubles point.
Joyce and Wolf hang on. And so does Ohio State for that matter. They win the doubles point. They lead the championship now 1-0. It's a best of 7 point accumulation sequence. So Ohio State now needs to win just 3 singles points to wrap up the Big Ten tournament crown. Wolf and Joyce got hot. They won 3 of the last 4. After that doubles one matchup was tied 3-3. Singles matches coming up next from Ann Arbor. Ohio State and Illinois for a Big Ten tournament championship. Nothing new about that. These teams have met every year in the Big Ten men's tennis finals since the tournament's inception in 1999. Ohio State has already won the doubles point, as you see, first of 4 wins. Here are the doubles results. The 3 doubles matchup was not completed. It didn't matter. When we wrapped up the first 2 doubles points, won by Ohio State, that was enough to secure the 1 doubles point. So Ohio State picks up a big point. Illinois thought maybe its best chance to win the matchup today would be winning that doubles point, but now they'll have to do it the hard way by getting things done in the singles portion of the match. Here they are, 1 through 6, and we're especially excited, Chase, for J.J. Wolf and Alex Kovacevic, 2 top 10 singles players in the country. Everybody just about underway. All 6 courts you see spread out in front of you. And we'll join that matchup we talked about to get us started. J.J. Wolf and Alex Kovacevic. Wolf is the #1 singles player in the country. He's at the bottom of your screen wearing a new shirt after winning the doubles match a few moments ago. Kovacevic up top, also wearing a new shirt. He's ranked 9th in singles. Even in a climate-controlled environment, you're going to be sweating a lot. You want to keep things dry.
Definitely. And you see Wolf here getting the early break on Kovacevic, which is going to be pretty important. I think he was looking to bounce back today, and did it in the doubles and got off to a good start here.
On to match 2. This is John McNally versus Alex Brown. McNally is ranked 22nd in ITA singles this year. Brown checks in at 51st. He's at the top of your screen. And McNally serving for an early 1-0 lead. That one plays the tape and a break for Brown. McNally and Brown, both sophomores. 2 up-and-comers in Big Ten men's tennis. You could say they both already arrived. Brown was first-team All-Big Ten last year as a freshman, and McNally was the Big Ten Rookie of the Year.
One of the cool things about this Ohio State team is that JJ and McNally have been friends and from Cincinnati since they were probably 8 or 9 years old. They've been buddies since then, and now they're playing 1 and 2 for the same team.
It's one of the interesting dynamics of the way that this match is structured, going from doubles to singles. And I think about your experience in particular. You were paired in doubles with Blaz Rala. You won a national championship together, but then you were competing against each other in singles too. So that is just an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, it is. It's they're your competition, but really how I tried to look at it is he was making me better by being there with me and practicing with me every day. And if one guy was going to be better than me or a little worse than me, so be it. But the fact that he was there was so important to my development as a tennis player and a person. He actually is one of my best friends. So, these two, I'm sure, are in the same position, and they're going to push each other and grow and learn from each other, even if sometimes it can be competitive in the moment.
Well, how about Alex Brown for Illinois rallying to take the first point in set 1? And we introduce you to our 3 singles matchup for the first time. Martin Joyce ready to receive this serve from Zeke Clark of Illinois. Joyce, a senior from Hinsdale, Illinois, already with a 1-0 lead.
You're going to see a lot of that from Joyce. He tries to put a lot of pressure on the opponent on serve and return by getting into the net. Indoors, it's going to favor him there. And he's a senior that's had a lot of experiences in these matches.
He's going for the 4-peat. He's trying to win a Big Ten tournament title all 4 years at Ohio State. Now remember, Chase, players call their own lines. Is that what happened there?
They do, no. So I think what happened is, and we can't see it at the bottom left part of the screen, is a ball was either coming onto the court or he thought it was coming onto the court. So he stopped the point, and in the case of it came into his vision, interrupted the point. And so that can be a tricky situation, though, because especially on the middle of 3 courts, you've got people hitting balls that come by and look like they're coming on all the time, yeah.
And at the same time, the last thing you want to do is see a player roll an ankle on a stray ball, so there's a safety element to that, too.
Yes, there is, especially when it comes into the court where you're actually playing. Sometimes it comes behind near the curtain, but sometimes it's also in the middle of the court. It's a little easier to call those.
Clark trying to tie things up.
And one of the differences you see in college versus when you watch professional matches that you saw there was the let court. So that's played in college when the serve hits the net and goes over, whereas when you generally watch tennis professionally, they do not.
That's a great point. And we say hello to our 4 singles matchup now. For Ohio State, this is Kyle Seelig, who played very well in the doubles portion of this match earlier. And he is opposed by Sifo Sintando Monsi, a freshman from East London, South Africa. He's at the top of your screen.
What you're going to see here from Seelig is a lot of long points. He is a total grinder. Good ground strokes, moves well. Just a real rock, as Ty Tucker said about him for the team.
Now it's interesting, Seelig is already warmed up, if you will, from playing in the doubles portion of the match. Monsi is not. And did you ever come in cold, so to speak, and sit out the doubles portion, just play the singles?
Personally, I did not. I do know some players that did, and it's not an advantage. When you got your nerves out, you've already been in the doubles, which is quicker, usually a little higher energy than the singles, and you've got those nerves out, so now you feel like you're into the match. Whereas if you come in cold, it's like you just watch that, and I've always thought watching is harder than playing. The nerves that you feel when you're watching the match are a lot more than when you're playing the match, when you're in it. Nice backhand there from Nancy.
And a big moment for him. A true freshman playing in the 4 singles portion of the Big Ten Tournament Championship and taking on a guy with a lot of experience in Kyle Seelig, a redshirt junior.
Yeah, Coach Dancer must have a lot of confidence in him to put him up against Seelig.
Monsi has had a good tournament so far. He did not finish his quarterfinal matchup, but in the semis against Penn State, he won a straight set 6-3, 6-3 decision over Christos Antonopoulos.
It's a good point there by Monsi, coming in and finishing up at the net. Seelig had a nice get there to make him finish off that point.
Illinois, remember, is playing from behind after Ohio State took the doubles point, so it's 1-0 Ohio State. And the first to 4 wins. In other words, this is a best of 7. And that game goes to Monsi. He takes a 2-1 lead in 4 singles over Kyle Seelig. To match 5 now. This is Alex Kobelt for Ohio State against Keenan Mayo for Illinois. And Brad Dancer has tweaked the bottom portion of his singles slate relative to the quarterfinal and the semifinal. And he did give us a hint that he might do that. Illinois has a lot of depth, so there were a lot of options, quite frankly, for Brad Dancer to use in the 4, 5, 6 slots.
Yeah, in my experience when I was playing, he's been known for doing the lineup flips last minute.
There he is, Brad Dancer.
this is the side where Cobalt being left-handed is a big advantage.
What do you have to do to adjust when you're playing a lefty?
So in my experience, I had a really good backhand. So what I would do is I would kind of bait them into going to my backhand. And they always want to because they've grown up playing people that have weaker backhands and they slide their serve out there. But it was actually my best shot and my best return. So it kind of played right into my game. But in general, my advice and thoughts on it would be you take away what they've used their entire life. So if they've used that slice out wide serve on the ad side, stand out there and say, beat me down the tee.
Back to one. A matchup of two top 10 singles players. Wolf for Ohio State, Kovacevic for Illinois. Wolf is the #1 player in singles tennis this year in the college ranks. He lost for the first time all season just yesterday in the semifinal.
Yeah, a little surprising yesterday with that loss.
Ty Tucker downplayed it, his head coach. He said, look, there are players in pro tennis making 6 figures a year who only win 2/3 of their matches and are still considered outstanding players. Here's J.J. Wolf, who sprints out of the gates, goes 30-0 to start the season. He's going to lose at some point.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. It's a little different on tour where these guys are losing every week almost if you're not Federer, Djokovic, or Nadal. And then you're in college and you're at this 90-95% win rate. And, you know, confidence is so high. It's a different dynamic for sure.
Ball just flies off Wolf's racket. That was too long. Well, the player who beat J.J. Wolf yesterday, Andrew Fenty, who's ranked just outside of the top 100, but he was named the Freshman of the Year. So he certainly backed that up, taking down the #1 player in the country in J.J. Wolf. And I think we can already look forward to the rematch between Fenty and Wolf next year.
Yes, we can. Fenty had a good junior career as well and is a talented young guy.
And who knows, Wolf could go pro, but he's a very young junior. He graduated high school a semester early and started his freshman year, played his freshman year at Ohio State when he should have been a high school senior.
Yeah, he actually did the same thing I did. I came in at 17 in my freshman year in 2009.
Kovacevic serving as a junior as well.
It's great use of the drop shot there as he saw Wolf back up into the court to try to defend and give himself a little more time.
When these two met in the regular season matchup, it was a fantastic battle. Wolf prevailed in straight sets, but it was 7-6 both times.
Good serve there by Kovacevic.
And right up the tee. And it was the serve game that, at least in the second set of the regular season matchup, cost Kovacevic against Wolf.
That's right, he was serving for the second set, wasn't
Yes. Wolf broke him to win the match. Ty Tucker keeping his eye on things, Ohio State's head coach.
It's a little bit of the return we talked about if JJ can get into these service games and put a little pressure on Kovacevic.
One thing that a lot of people around Ohio State's program talk about Wolf physically, the size of his legs. He's got a lot of power in the lower body. especially for a guy who's listed at 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, possibly generously.
Chris, that's what you're going to see a lot of from JJ if he can get the time on his forehand to go at Kovacevic's one-handed backhand, especially with JJ's racket head speed and the way he can get the ball up on people. He's going to want to try to milk that corner with his forehand whenever he has the time to get around it. One of the advantages of a two-handed backhand is the high ball, and so that when he has the one-hander, you know, you just don't have as much leverage up there to handle the pace and the spin that somebody like JJ can generate.
You said you had a great backhand as Brad Dancer runs across the court. Were you a two-hand guy?
I was a two-hand guy, and there's another good serve there, Kovacevic. Yeah, I was a two-hand guy. Really like it on the return. Having two hands.
More control?
More control, a little more compact. And again, the high leverage, being able to use your left hand and lean into it.
You were telling me about a recent Ohio State standout, Mikhail Torpegard, who starred at this tournament as recently as last year. He came in with a really good backhand as well and improved his forehand game as a Buckeye.
He did, and now he's out on tour and he's had a good start to his career. And he could really do some good things. He's got a great serve. One of the most competitive, toughest guys that I've known.
And it seems like Wolf has got that competitive streak too.
Kind of what we're talking about there with that heavy forehand up to the Kovacevic backhand. Couldn't really get his legs under him to get any power on that slice.
So Wolf wins that point to break Kovacevic and take control of the first set. Quick look at 6 singles. This is Hunter Tubert for Ohio State in control over Budic. That's Budic, you see, picking up the balls from behind the line. Budic was a late addition to the 6 singles slot. He was originally at 5 singles. Then he was out of the lineup, and then, lo and behold, right after the doubles point, Brad Dancer threw him back in.
Yeah, this is one of Ohio State's toughest competitors here. Tubert at 6.
Tubert, a senior from Huntington, West Virginia. Ty Tucker said he's the heart and soul of the team. He was named to the NCAA tournament, all-tournament team last year in Ohio State's runner-up finish to Wake Forest. You think Ohio State's got the depth this year that they had last year on that deep run to the NCAA tournament final?
You know, I do. I think they showed it earlier this season at the indoors when they won the national title there. The hard part for the northern teams, though, is to move outdoors, and so we'll see how they fare. You know, we haven't had the best weather this year in Ohio, so I don't know how much outdoor time they've gotten, and and how prepared they're going to be. I know they're going to be physically prepared with their conditioning, but just how much time have they spent outside to be ready to go down into 85-degree weather and compete.
Tubert puts it away. And to the point of Ohio State's depth, there are 3 Buckeyes on the Big Ten All-Conference team and 3 Illini as well. Back out to 6. And you saw the gesture made by Hunter Tubert to call that fault. Just 1 chair umpire per match.
It's a good play there by Tubert. Just didn't execute on the finish.
Thinking back about what you said about Ohio State getting outdoor competition ready, going and looking ahead to the NCAA tournament. In Illinois, you could say the same thing, but Ty Tucker told us that he wants his team to have 3 weeks outside to get used to outdoor conditions, ideally. To tie things up at 40. We're indoors today, by the way, you might be wondering, because of a rash of winter-like weather across the Midwest here in late April. You're just never really out of the woods for a snowstorm in the Midwest until you get to Memorial Day, practically.
Great passing shot by Buttigieg.
Because Tubert did exactly what you thought he would.
Yep, he didn't quite connect with it clean to get it to go through the court the way he wanted, but still applying a lot of pressure to Buttigieg to try to stay in that set.
Buttigieg still alive in the first set. Another check on the 1 singles matchup. Alex Kovacevic, the New York native, at the bottom of your screen against J.J. Wolf out of Cincinnati Country Day. Wolf just broke Kovacevic for the last point. Now Kovacevic can return the favor.
Yeah, JJ was late getting up to that ball. If you saw his hips were open as he tried to hit that shot, which isn't what you really want when you're moving forward.
As good as both Kovacevic and Wolf have been this year, both players have lost already in the Big Ten tournament. Fantastic backhand.
Yeah, really did a good job there of dealing with JJ's forehand and caught that out in front and hit a great angle. Chris, back to your comment about the 3 weeks outdoors is, I mean, you want as much as you can, but I think that's the bare minimum that Coach Tucker wants. And, I mean, we were out there when I was on the team in the middle of March when it was 42 degrees and windy, just trying to get the feeling of hitting outside. It's just different with the wind and the sun. The elements, the court speeds are a little slower usually. So getting out there as much as you can when you're going to have to play teams like Georgia, Florida, Texas, USCs that play almost all season outside.
Kovacevic knuckling down here. Now, Wolf and Kovacevic have now broken each other twice already in the first set. And is that an indication of an even match sometimes?
It can be, it could be a couple different things. It could be nerves. Generally, both of these guys can hold serve pretty well, but they also both return well. So it kind of could be different every match. You saw it was a 7-6, 7-6 last time they played. But yeah, these guys are pretty fairly matched. I mean, Kovacevic is, I think, top 10 in the country, and JJ was 1 in the country, or is 1 in the country right now.
Kovacevic is number 9 currently. He was up as high as number 6 this year.
Oh. A little bit of negative body language there from Kovacevic for being at 3-all, 30 love, missing the first serve. That's just a smooth, confident shot there.
Both of these guys with professional aspirations. And Chase, I know that you turned pro after your, was it your junior year in 2012?
For me?
Yes.
It was actually my senior year.
It was after your senior year?
Yeah, but my first year was honestly 2.5 months because I came in the middle of March, played essentially the Big Ten season and then the NCAA tournament. And that counted as a full season because I came in early.
Over to 3 singles now. Zeke Clark with the big serve for Illinois. Great matchup here between 2 of the more veteran guys on either team. Joyce, a senior, Clark, a junior.
Yeah, and you know how much Tucker has talked about Joyce being so important to their team and how many matches he's been in with his experience.
As Joyce puts it away, we inform you that there is a first set that has gone final in 6 singles. Hunter Tubert dispatched of Vuk Budic 6-1. Remember, Ohio State already has a 1-0 lead in the Big Ten Tournament Championship because they won the doubles point already. And the first of 4 wins the tournament.
And there's the set to Joyce.
Here's where we are with all 6 singles matches currently in progress. So Ohio State has 1-0 set leads in both 3 singles and 6 singles. And if those 2 matchups go Ohio State's way, they would be up 3-0 and would be in need of just 1 more singles victory to take home the tournament crown. So when you're in the middle of a singles match, especially in a tournament setting like this, are you in any way aware of what's going on around you?
That's going to be a player-dependent question, but for me, I was very aware of what was going on. I knew not essentially at each game what the score was, but I knew where everybody else was in their match. Because, I mean, when you look up at that scoreboard, even on the changeovers, you sit down, you see what JJ's doing or what Brown is doing, and you're like, okay, so if we get this, then this is looking like a win. So yeah, you're pretty aware of what's going on.
Well, that's a big point and a big first set for Illinois' Alex Brown to give the Illini some good news in the singles portion of the championship. He takes care of John McNally handily, 6-2 in the first set. McNally is a top 25 singles player in the country. Alex Brown on the verge of a top 50 ranking. So both of these guys with very legitimate NCAA tournament aspirations. And an impressive first set win for Brown, the 6'5 sophomore from Urbandale, Iowa. To 4 singles now. Kyle Seelig for Ohio State against Sifo Sintando Monsi, the freshman from South Africa. Buckeyes looking good so far, ahead in 5 of 6 singles matches. Monsi serving.
Back to that McNally-Brown first set. That's important for Illinois to get. Being down in the other matches, losing the doubles point, it's not looking great right now, but getting that first set is just energy, a little momentum, a little confidence for the other guys. Like, okay, we got a set.
And the doubles point goes by so fast. And as Ty Tucker said for Ohio State, sometimes it feels like it's determined based on whether you wake up on the right side or the wrong side of the bed in the morning. It's very fickle, in other words. Now you settle into the much more rhythmic pace of a 3-set singles match, and you almost have to remind yourself to pump the brakes a little bit after go, go, go in the doubles.
You really
Speaking
do.
emotionally.
You really do. In my experience, we were told energy all the time in the doubles, and then the singles is way more of a marathon than it is a sprint. And the rules have changed a little bit, so the doubles is now even faster, and the singles is a little faster than when I was playing. But the general thought process behind that is the doubles, you got to get out to a good start, and you've got to come with the energy. And the singles, you don't want to just go into overdrive the whole time, because it can be a much longer match.
Cobelt with the ace for Ohio State. Big serve from the 6'5 redshirt junior.
There's a clutch serve there.
So Cobelt with a big set 1 win for Ohio State. And we return to match 1 with J.J. Wolf serving to go up 2 points in the first set.
Yeah. One of the things that sticks out with J.J. is just the athleticism he has. He comes from a family that has a bunch of D1 athletes in volleyball, football, basketball, and you can just see it on the court with how he moves.
In his coaching, too, he was coached by David Cass, a 3-time All-American.
At the University of Michigan.
Funny how that works out.
But yeah, he's got a good team around him that's really helped him develop and been consistent.
To 4 singles again, Monsey and Seelig. Seelig up top for Ohio State. And remember, no ad scoring here in all of college tennis, for that matter. This is certainly not just unique to the Big Ten tournament, and that is a recent change that was not in effect when you were playing. Wins that point because there is no ad scoring, and he stays alive in the first set.
That's a big point there. To get another first set for the Buckeyes. Instead, it's 5-4. Yeah, back when I was playing, these games could be really drawn out because of the deuce point not being in effect, and so it's a big advantage for the returner because the longer a game goes, back to like stats, the server's gonna win more of those games the longer the game goes because they have an advantage. But when you get to deuce, and that's the point that ends the game, anything could happen, and you get to decide which side of the court the point is played on as the returner.
What do you think of that?
Personally, I wouldn't like it, but that's just because of what I had experience with. That it puts a little more pressure on each game to get up and to finish out those games at 40-30, so you're not getting to that deuce point, because it's a big difference between deuce point and deuce going to add and add in and add out. You can fight through those games a little easier than you get to that deuce point and one double fault, you blink a little bit, and all of a sudden that's the break.
He's Chase Buchanan, the former Ohio State Buckeye, and a doubles national champion in 2012 with Blaz Rala. Also a very accomplished singles player as well for the Scarlet and Gray. You told me you were a 5-time All-American, and I assume that you'd taken a victory lap or something like that at Ohio State. But no, you were an All-American in singles and doubles, so that's how you racked up all those All-Americans.
Yeah, so my freshman year I didn't win any of those because I came in so late. And then after that it was, 3 in singles, 2 in doubles. And really learned a lot while I was there about doubles and had a great partner and great coaching staff that helped me develop. See Wolf upset with himself off that miss. That was pretty off balance.
Yeah, we've seen some demonstrative body language displays from both Kovacevic and Wolf here in a neck-and-neck first set. Underway in the second set of 5 singles. Kobelt and Mayo have already played a point. Kobelt winning it. And a quick check on 3. Martin Joyce running the baseline for Ohio State. Steve Clark puts it away.
One of the things that's important as young players develop into being adults is that being in control of the point is so important. As young like tennis players, it's very easy to make a lot of balls and to rely on other people to win. But as you get up into college tennis and pro tennis, it becomes so important that you're in control of what's going on. The guys just get too good at finishing off the point, so you can't defend as easily as you used to be able to, or when you were younger.
Sure. Well, I thought that was one thing that was really interesting when we talked to Ty Tucker too. Is he said the guys that originally come on the radar at age 10, 12, 14 are different players, frankly, by the time they get up to 18. And sometimes you see burnout early on like that, and there is something to be said for a player like J.J. Wolf for Ohio State, who was a little bit more of a late bloomer and still has the same love and zeal for the game now in his late teens, early 20s as he did much earlier in his career.
Yeah, what you see in tennis a lot is because of how demanding it is time-wise, that a lot of these kids at a young age, if it's not their choice to be training as much as they are training, they get burned out by the time they're 17, 18, 19 years old. And what Coach Tucker was saying is how important it was, or it is, for players to be in love with the game when they're putting in 4, 5, 6 hours a day, studying the game, playing the game, training off the court. And if you don't love that, it can really be a drain on your energy and your mindset. And then you come into these matches and you're drained already, instead of it just being like, I love this. I'm here. This is the Big Ten tournament. I love this game. It's pressure and stress, and it's a little more difficult. And JJ's really fallen in love with the game more and more instead of less as you play longer.
Not afraid to put in 4 to 6 hours of practice every day, according to his coach, Ty Tucker, who you see on the screen right now. That's what it takes to be an elite player, certainly at the college ranks and beyond. And that hard work has paid off for J.J. Wolf this season. He won his first 30 matches of the 2019 season and is ranked number 1 in ITA singles.
Heck of a return.
Heck of a return. He's got a worthy opponent in Alex Kovacevic, who's ranked number 9. But Kovacevic will have to break Wolf to keep this set going.
JJ taking a little extra time here.
We spent a little time talking about Kovacevic's backhand. He goes one hand. So what are the advantages to doing that?
So some of the advantages are variety. you're used to playing with one hand, so the slice is not like, oh, I'm taking this hand off the racket. It's just you've always played with that hand off the racket. So going from slice to topspin is pretty easy for somebody with a one-handed backhand. And then I would say the court is a little wider. You can open up the court more because you can hit angles easier with one hand instead of two. So if you saw earlier when Kovacevic hit that angle on JJ, I think that got him the break. You know, that's a shot that the two-handers don't generally have or develop because it's a flatter, more compact stroke than the more fluid, open, whippy one-handed backhand. It's not to say one's better, but, you know, there's definitely a lot more two-handed backhands. I think it's a little easier when you're young, so then guys don't want to really put in the time to develop the one-hander. You see somebody like Roger and Wawrinka, these guys have one-handers, but most of the tours, two hands.
That's a big point won by Kovacevic to fend off set point.
JJ's lost a couple of those deuce points.
And Monsi has tightened things up in 4 singles. He's serving now for Illinois.
Monsi kind of reminds me of Seelig a little bit.
Similar styles of play?
Styles of play. Doesn't look like they're moving up in the court too much, and they want to play from the baseline and grind it out.
Well, how about the freshman Monsi walking off the court with some swagger? He was down 5-3 in that set, came back to win it. Kovacevic has rallied from behind in this set as well.
He has. He has a little bit of momentum now. And that's how these things go is, you know, Wolf up 5-4, doesn't get that point. Now it feels like he had the set in his hands, and now it's like, man, now it's back to even or down. And this is where you'd like to see him as the coaching staff play a tough game. And he's not really getting into this one, but making Kovacevic work as much as he possibly can this game so he doesn't get a quick hold after that long game at 5-4.
Great volley and rally up at the net.
Kovacevic one game away from the set.
You see the body language has improved for Kovacevic. A wry grin on his face as he walked off after winning that point.
Yeah, definite difference than 15 minutes ago.
Wolf is not just going to surrender this last point, though. That's going to be an interesting conclusion to the first set in 1 singles. A look at the entire menu. Remember Ohio State with early first set victories in 3 singles and 6 singles. They also took care of business in 5 singles. Illinois has won 2 and 4 in terms of first set wins. And let's take a look at match 4.
Big forehand from Seelig. Liked how he moved up in the court there. You know, at this point in these guys' careers, everybody's pretty fast and moves and can defend the court pretty well. If you don't take space and move up in the court to try to finish points, it's really hard to get enough of an upper hand to end the point.
So a split screen view, 1 singles on the left, 4 singles on the right. Kyle Seelig serving on the right for Ohio State. And Alex Kovacevic up 15 love in what could be the decisive game of the first set. He has to break J.J. Wolf in order to win the first set, something that he's done already. Playing with a stray ball on the court didn't bother J.J. Wolf. Pretty good second serve.
Great second serve. Set him up to get that short forehand and get Kovacevic running off the court. And he had a good shot, but then J.J. played a nice drop shot to end the point.
Selig and Monsi hammering away on the right. Monsi fires into the net.
Kind of all the matches, that's the match that has seen a lot of long rallies already, I think, is that Monsi and Selig.
I agree. Another second serve coming up for J.J. Wolf.
One of the keys to J.J.'s game is his first serve percentage, so that's something to watch for as we get further and further into this match, is how that, if it gets better or worse, where it's at. He's had a couple this game that have been good, but in general, when he has a good first serve percentage, he plays really well.
Well, Selig has knotted things up with Monsi 6-6 in the first set. Wolf trying to do the same here in one singles.
It's a double fault from Wolf. This is a big point here at 30-all.
Ty Tucker with a look that has remained unchanged from when you were playing at Ohio State, right, Chase? The Ohio State hat, the baggy gray sweatpants, the play sheet sticking out the front.
It's safe to say he's a little superstitious. Great first serve by JJ. Finishes with his favorite shot there.
What a resume for Ty Tucker, a former All-Coach for 23 years now, 20 as the head coach. He's taken Ohio State to the national title match twice, and he's been named Big Ten Coach of the Year 14 times in his 20-year career.
And back to Ty, he's I was on the team there for 4 years, and that's one of the hardest workers that I've ever been around as a coach. I mean, you're there as a player, but he's there twice and 3 times as much as the coach, and he's on top of everything. One of the hardest workers, definitely. He's earned the results he's gotten as a head coach.
Goes through 1 pen cap per match. Sometimes when he doesn't have a pen cap, he chews straws, he says. Not nails, though.
That's a huge forehand to save that and get to the breaker. That's kind of what, talking about the talent level of JJ. He was in a really bad position in the court there. You could barely see him in the bottom right part of the screen. And he hits a winner. I mean, that's, you can't really teach to generate that much racket head speed and to get yourself out of that trouble there.
Well, here's another 6-6 tiebreaker in progress. Monsi to serve. Really impressive to see how Monsi has hung with Selig in this first set. Selig 21-8 in the regular season this year. And you got to get to 7 in the tiebreaker.
Yeah, Coach Dancer has to be happy with what he's seen from Monsey, especially as a freshman.
Monsey didn't make his college debut this year until February 9th. So he's been on the fast track this year, finds himself playing in 4 singles in the Big Ten Tournament Championship. So match 1 and match 4 very close right now, both in tie-breaking scenarios for the first set.
JJ looks to, he has that early mini break in the tiebreaker, won the first point on Kovacevic's serve. You kind of look at it as like a set, a little mini set within itself. If you win your points on serve, you know, play 1, then 2, 2, back and forth the whole time throughout the breaker. So he seems to up 2-0, a mini break here, see if he can solidify it.
Double fault.
A couple of those recently.
Yeah. So if you could point to maybe a flaw in JJ's match so far, what do you think of his serving game?
I'd say his first serve percentage has not been good enough. From what we've watched, the games he's been broken in, the first serve hasn't gone in enough. Everything else has looked, he's had a couple backhand errors. He's had some good errors off his forehand where he's in the right position, has not executed. But then you got to give credit to Kovacevic to get back in this and make it competitive.
That was in the alley.
And there's an example of Kovacevic played that ball with very little margin. Off of his back foot, he's not in a good position to attack. And he needs to not make an error in that position. He needs to get that ball back deep, let JJ control the point, but not give up the point that easily. I'd like to see JJ approach the backhand there.
Match 5 now as Kobelt wins that point.
Kobelt's really running away with this.
And that is somewhat surprising. Keenan Mayo 9-10 this year. Playing up in the 5 spot for just the 3rd time. And actually played predominantly in the regular season anyway in the 4 spot where he carried a 7-7 mark in 4 singles through the regular season. Alex Kobelt is on his game today.
I've known Alex since he was a little kid. He, younger brother of Peter Kobelt, who's playing on tour right now, and former teammate of mine. Actually lived with him for 3 years. And so I've known him since he was a little kid, and he's gotten better and better. He didn't play a ton of tournaments in high school, as a lot of these kids do, from when they're 12 until they're 18 years old. Just kind of hung around the tennis courts all the time, played in high school, and really when he got to college, committed, and has gotten a lot better in the last 3 years.
Again, he is from New Albany, Ohio, and Ty Tucker admitted that the only reason he found him was because he was in his backyard.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes from Ohio State, and then older brother Peter Kobelt being on the team. You know, a little bit insider knowledge there on who the younger brother is and if he can play, and he's really proved himself.
Mayo puts him away there to stay alive in the 2nd set. But even with that game victory for Mayo, Cobelt looks like he's on the verge of securing the first singles point of the tournament. Ohio State already up 1-0 after taking the doubles points. Another check back in at 4 singles. This is, even with the number 1 singles match in consideration, this has been the closest match, or at least the closest first set so far.
You see Sealy getting pumped up there, got a double fault to give him the set. It's 5-6. That's a tough one for Monty.
It sure is. Seelig, though, about as hardened of a competitor as there is with his experience. He got red hot at the end of the 2018 season. He was named to the 2018 NCAA All-Tournament team, and he's put together a really fine redshirt junior year this year. Again, playing the ball off the tape.
There. JJ just started to get a hold of the forehand in the middle of that point. It felt like he wasn't going to miss it, just didn't rhythm. That's kind of what he does. When you see him playing his best tennis, he's moving around the court from the middle, dominating with his forehand, looking to move forward.
A slugfest between two top 10 singles players.
Break again here.
We stick with 1 singles on the left and take a peek at 5 singles on the right. Again with Alex Cobelt, 2 winners away from wrapping up the match.
You gotta like where you're at with Cobelt and his serve. Up 2 breaks, 30-15 here. It's a big forehand by Cobelt. 2 match points.
Wolf missed long, and Kovacevic going toe-to-toe in the tiebreak with Wolf. That's the singles match that we were the most excited about. Wolf number 1 in singles in the country. Kovacevic checks in at number 9, and it has not disappointed at all in the first set.
No, in that last point, you got to like what Wolf did there. He got his forehand from the middle of the court and tried to end the point. I mean, that's a big part of his game. He's got to execute.
Kovacevic did not lose a match in the Big Ten until this year. As you see, 5 singles has now gone final. Alex Cobelt sets the tone for Ohio State in the singles portion of the championship, and now it's 2-0 Ohio State. Remember, they already won the doubles point, so the Buckeyes need to win just 2 more ongoing singles matches to wrap up the tournament crown.
Chris, that's where things get a little trickier. They're looking good at court 3, but all the other matches, they're wars. You know, C-League winning that first set was pretty important.
Clark did, in fact, put that one over the head of Martin Joyce. He couldn't get it back over.
See Coach Tucker here trying to help Martin through this game.
So now 2-0 Ohio State, having just taking care of business in match 5 singles. Zeke Clark was voted by his teammates as the most improved player last year for Illinois. Trying to hang in there against Martin Joyce of Ohio State. We haven't looked at this matchup in a while. Alex Brown took care of John McNally 6-2 in the first set of the 2 singles matchup. So far in the second set. Really backed up his first set win and has McNally on the ropes again.
And from McNally, you haven't heard him a lot today with his energy, and he's one of the guys for Ohio State that's one of the louder, I'd say, big match players. Gets pumped up, high energy, talks a lot when he's on the court. That's something that's a little overlooked, is how much talking goes on to the other guys on the courts with encouragement and saying, let's go JJ, or let's go anybody on the side of the court that he's on. With the 3 matches that Coach Tucker really preaches, that his players that are very talkative and encouraging all the time.
Coach Tucker lays that down in practice, that philosophy and that mentality of really cheering for each other.
He does, yeah. He actually really gets on freshmen when freshmen come in. If the freshmen don't talk, and it's like every couple minutes, if they're not yelling Buckeyes or Go Bucks or let's go, JJ or somebody, he'll get on them and make them run. He wants that energy there all the time, and it's a habit, just like everything else that you do is creating those habits. See if McNally ups his energy here a little bit for trying to get back in this set.
To match 1 now, Wolf and Kovacevic still dueling in the first set. A winner by Wolf to finally bring the first set to a close.
Here we go with the line calls.
Kovacevic.
It's a close ball there. JJ thought it was in.
He certainly tried to sell it.
He did try to sell it. And that's kind of what you got to do. It's like in basketball when you see the coaches yelling at the refs right away. It's like you want that next line call to go your way.
And how quickly momentum has been exchanged throughout this first set. Now it's Kovacevic on the verge of winning the first set.
That's a good point. It's just been back and forth between them this whole time.
Kovacevic takes advantage of the error and wins set 1. What a thriller between 2 of the best singles players in the country. And call it an upset for the 9th-ranked Alex Kovacevic in the first set, taking down ITA number 1, J.J. Wolf. Remember, Wolf lost for the first time all season yesterday in the semifinal, and Kovacevic is trying to hand him his 2nd straight loss. So a big win for Illinois, and we've got some close matchups across the board with the exception of 5 singles. That has already gone final. How about Vuk Budic down in the 6th spot? He's come back after dropping that first set 6-1 and is now ahead of Hunter Tubert. You see that match going on low on the right.
Yeah, and that court 1 first set was pretty important. If the Illinois are going to win this match, I think they're going to need that court.
Lo and behold, here's 6 singles. Tubert and Budic. Tubert at the bottom, Budic up top. Budic, a junior out of Deerfield High School, just north of Chicago. We stick with 6 singles on the right and give you a glimpse of 2 singles on the left. There's Alex Brown with the serve on the left for Illinois.
McNally giving himself a chance here to get back in this match.
You noted the lack of energy for McNally so far in the two singles matchup for Ohio State.
Yeah, he seems a little bit, understandable with, that he's not up in the match, but you'd like to see him continue to keep his energy up, being one of the guys that is high energy on their team. Just talking, bouncing around, looking alive. Right now, gives some positive vibes for himself and the team, even if he's down match point. That looks like the second set for Budic against Tubert off of a double fault.
Yes. So while that matchup has become very close now, going into a winner-take-all third set. And Alex Brown, as you see McNally spike the racket. Here comes Brad Dancer.
You see Brown giving himself a little dance over there.
And so some good sportsmanship there at the end, as Brown defeats John McNally in straight sets, and McNally takes out some of his frustration against the chair umpire.
I think McNally thought that last ball was out, and he might have gotten overruled. You see Coach Schilling walking out there trying to probably calm McNally down a little bit so he doesn't get a point penalty transferred onto another court.
As you said, a lot of the other singles matchups going on right now are neck and neck. So even though Ohio State still has a 2-1 advantage, even with Brown knocking off McNally, a penalty point assigned to another court could have some major ramifications. So that's absolutely something Ohio State wants to avoid. Nothing like a little bit of drama in the Big Ten Men's Tennis Championship. Number 4 singles, nothing has changed here with respect to the closeness of this match. Seelig won a first set tiebreak over the freshman Monsey, and now they're even again early in the second set.
From him off the court there, up out of his strike zone.
A plucky performance for Sifo Sintando Monsey, the freshman. They call him Seifs. Just a 9-9 regular season record this year, but is playing his best tennis of the season right now. So 2 singles matches have already gone final, so we're down to a 4-box now. Ohio State won 5 singles. Illinois won 2 singles. Ohio State leads by way of a victory in the doubles portion of the tournament. So it's 2-1 Ohio State. That one ricochets off the tape from Alex Kovacevic, who took set 1 over J.J. Wolf, the number 1 player in the country, 7-6. Wolf, remember, lost in straight sets in the semifinal yesterday to a freshman from Michigan, Andrew Fenty.
When we talked to Coach Tucker, one of the things he said about JJ is not that many guys JJ's size can serve it as big as he can. And we just saw one there. Dropped a big one down the tee.
Another big serve right there, keep Kovacevic off balance. Well, here's Andrew Fenty, the guy who handed J.J. Wolf his first loss of the year. An impressive resume already for the freshman Fenty, recently named Big Ten Freshman of the Year, the first Wolverine to win that award since 2010. This guy's going to be fun to watch.
He is. He's a talented young kid, and he's going to have a great career. You know, just being able to beat somebody like JJ just shows he can step up in big matches and get wins. So Michigan's going to be really happy with him going forward.
Hunter Tubert came out hot in 6 singles, but then Vuk Budic got him back in the second set. This is a match of critical importance for both teams, but Illinois trying to draw even with Ohio State if they can pull off a win here in 6 singles. That's Budic serving into the net.
This would be a big start for Tubert to this set to get up a break early.
That was wide, and, well, you don't need us to tell you. That was Hunter Tubert calling it a break. And a 1-0 lead in the third set of 6 singles. To number 3 now. Zeke Clark, top of your screen for Illinois in the cap against Martin Joyce of Ohio State. That's Joyce's MO, coming up to the net like that.
Yeah, that's a heck of a volley. That's what he does. He tries to, you know, he's one of the only players that is in college tennis that forces his way into the net all the time, not just takes it as it comes, but just, I mean, in the middle of that rally, he just said, I'm going to step up into the court and come in and see what you got. It's a different game style to play against that most players don't grow up playing at all, because nobody now is really taught to serve and volley anymore.
It's kind of old school, right?
It is, yeah, with the technology changing the rackets and the ability to kind of angle the ball and dip the ball quicker than you used to be able to, which you had to kind of go through each shot. The angles up at the net to cover are pretty tough, but he's made a career out of it.
Well, this is match point right now for Joyce, but Clark wins that. So hold that thought. And remember, with no ad scoring, a 40-15 lead just doesn't mean quite as much in a game.
It doesn't.
Brad Dancer looking on. Clark plays it around Joyce, and we've got a battle here.
It's a heck of a passing shot. It's kind of what I was talking about with being able to dip those angles. If you don't come in off the right ball, you're in trouble.
Brad Dancer in his 14th season at Illinois. He's led the Illini to Big Ten tournament championships in 2015 and 2012, and that 2012 Big Ten championship win for Illinois, I know, is a point of contention for my broadcast partner, Chase Buchanan. That was the final match of your college career.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one too much.
My bad.
No, that one, that was a tough match up at Northwestern. They played, there's Joyce finishing it out. That's a huge point. That's a huge point to go up 3-1 overall.
Huge. Clark, a worthy opponent in the second set. Brad Dancer congratulates Martin Joyce, the senior, who has won the 3rd point for Ohio State. They need 4 to win Martin Joyce's 4th straight Big Ten tournament championship. I didn't mean to dredge up the bad memories there, Chase. I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking a little bit.
3-1 Ohio State now. Who knows? Maybe it would have been a different story if you'd been playing inside like they are here in Ann Arbor.
You know, that's a good point, because when you go outdoors, that match that we lost in 2012, it was barely 50 degrees, 15-mile-an-hour winds. Guys were playing long sleeves, long pants. I mean, you're not out there loose, feeling the ball. Your hands are all stiff. It's really hard to play your normal game in that type of weather. And, you know, they came out energy, had the crowd from Champaign come up to Northwestern and took us down 4-3. It was a good match, this silent car ride home.
One singles now. That serve for J.J. Wolf has been clocked at 135 miles per hour. only 3 more singles matches in progress, and Ohio State needs to win one of the 3 to clinch the tournament championship. The good news for Illinois is that they're very much in contention for the 3 singles matches still in progress.
And this is where it gets real easy to get distracted as a player when you're out there and there's 3 matches left and you're up 3-1 and you're kind of looking around to see what your teammates are doing, if they're up, if they're about to take the match and end it, or what. And so this is when I always thought was the most important, to stay present in your own match. In the beginning you're kind of looking around, seeing what's going on, but as it gets to the end, you gotta pretend like you're the point that's needed to win this thing.
And especially for a guy like you who said was always at least vaguely aware of what was going on in the other courts, in a situation like this, I would think you'd really want to just tune everything out.
Yeah, as best you can. You have to, or else you start playing differently based on what your teammates are doing.
That's long from J.J. Wolf, and Kovacevic is on the board in this game.
Looks like J.J. got a little flat there for how deep he was. He tried to use that kick serve up on Kovacevic's backhand and got the forehand he wanted, but didn't really get his feet set up correctly.
You've said that a couple of times now regarding J.J. Wolf. Again, nothing glaringly wrong, but just a couple of the little things now. And here he is on a 3-set losing streak after losing a total of just 1 set all season prior to the Big Ten semifinal yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you can see a little bit. Footwork gets a little shaky at times. I'm sure there's some nerves and obviously yesterday took a loss. Hopefully he's bouncing back good and he's just, that's how it is, because that's how tennis is. You're going to take losses, especially with him wanting to play professionally after his collegiate career. You're going to lose almost every week that you play, and being able to sustain your confidence level is probably the most important skill to have when you're on tour. And so, he doesn't look bad at all or unconfident, but there's a few things with his footwork, just getting off his back foot a little bit and continuing to make good decisions.
For Illinois, Monsi needs to win this set in 4 singles to keep the match alive, both this specific match and the entire championship for that matter. Ohio State needs to win just 1 of the 3 remaining singles matches to clinch the tournament crown.
In court 1 and court 4, you're really seeing how much more of points they're playing, because it's only 2-2 in the second set. Some of these other matches are in the third set or have finished.
You saw that cluster of players for Illinois. Some of them have already played today, and they are now converted cheerleaders. There's an Ohio State contingent. John McNally and company leading the call and response.
Yeah, and that changes as so that court, that's probably McNally's court that they finished on. So now the other teammates can come down from being upstairs onto the court, and it kind of changes the dynamic.
6 singles now. I would imagine that could get competitive. The cheering between the two observants.
It can, and you start to see more chirping, more talking to the players that are on the court, saying get on it on that second serve, like to second serve, and you're allowed to talk. So it's, that's one of the big changes when you come from high school tennis and competitive junior tennis to college, is that everything's quiet when you're playing in high school. Well, not in high school, but in junior tennis. And then you get to college and you got guys talking at the back of the fence in between your serves, telling you you're terrible, telling you you're going to double fault, and you're not used to that as a tennis player. And so it's something to get used to, especially as a freshman.
6 singles on the right, 1 singles on the left. Budic fires into the net in 6 singles. And it's Tubert up in that game. Wolf on the verge of going up by 2 points in the second set, which would be about as big of a lead as we've seen either competitor have in this very competitive one singles match. You'd think that a break would go a long way here, and Wolf is on the verge of doing just that.
Especially after losing that first set, to show you getting back up in the second. The other teammates can look at that and be like, yeah, we got JJ too, he's coming back.
Not so fast.
I think he could have laid into that a little more. Just looked a little soft for the amount of racket head speed he can generate. Looked a little slow.
That one sounded like it ticked the tape, but again, that is allowed in college tennis. And so an ace for Kovacevic ties up the game.
Let's see what JJ decides here. Court to set up that forehand there from Wolf.
He's got the Andre Agassi look going now with the mullet, the headband. I even saw an earring.
He does. Might have to reach out to him about that and see what he's thinking there. I like the headband.
Now you continue to work with JJ a little bit, right? In the off season in particular.
Yeah, last summer I took him to Kalamazoo and the U.S. Open qualifying, which he finaled Kalamazoo, and then so he got an entry into the qualifying of the U.S. Open. And then I'm around the team from time to time at Ohio State, and I know his coaches and his trainers and all that stuff. So I talk to them a good amount and give whatever input I have into my experiences and what he can do, and try to help out in any way. He's a great kid.
To me, that's one of the more unique aspects of college tennis is that you can play in those qualifiers for major tournaments and it doesn't affect your NCAA eligibility.
Right. So you're allowed to compete. You cannot take prize money. So you have to compete as an amateur. But yeah, you're allowed to play as much as you want, even when he's in school. So JJ this year, for example, went to, I think, 3 or 4 challengers during the season that are pro tournaments, and I think he finaled or won one of them. And you know that is something that started happening back when Steve Johnson, who played at USC, was doing when he took a fall off one year to play professionally, came back for the season. We're seeing guys start to play more and more pro tournaments even during the season, during the especially the fall, to set themselves up for their career after their collegiate career.
It's a lot of tennis.
It's a lot. You know, they play, I think, about 40 matches a season. The Buckeyes generally do. And then you're not talking about the summer matches that you're going and playing tournaments where you could be playing 5 to 7 matches a week, singles and doubles. And then the fall where you're doing the same exact thing, 10 weeks. It is one of the ultimate grinds.
There's some extra mustard on that forehand from Kovacevic.
Yeah, Kovacevic has really impressed me today with his forehand. He plays very aggressively, and
You mentioned the opportunity that some players take advantage of playing in pro tournaments, just not taking the prize money in the fall season in particular. Well, Illinois has got a really competitive non-conference schedule in particular, doing, I think, probably the next closest thing to emulating a professional-type atmosphere in terms of the competitiveness. Illinois has gone toe-to-toe with Notre Dame, UCLA, Texas, Florida, Baylor, several ranked teams. They played Florida twice, so...
Yeah, that's a heck of a schedule they had. They went to play North Carolina, number 8, number 7, UCLA, number 6, Texas, and then number 4, Florida, all in about a 10-day span. That's a great experience for the players, though, especially getting outdoors depending on the time of the year, and having that tough out-of-conference schedule, which gives them a leg up when they come back in conference.
Here's where we are in the Big Ten championship. Ohio State up 3-1. They need to win just one more singles matchup of 3 in progress to win that 4th point and clinch the championship title. To match 4 now. Ohio State is the number 1 ranked team in the country. Illinois checks in at number 15. In part because of some of the losses that Illinois sustained in that very difficult non-conference portion. Brad Dancer, Illinois' coach, thinks that this is an Illini team better than its record and its ranking indicates. Kyle Seelig to serve.
That's going to hurt the legs a little bit from Monty. Seelig had him running all over the place.
The newly formed cheering section on the court of one of the completed matches.
That's what Seelig kind of does. He works you down. I mean, you play 10, 15 points like that a match, and they wear you out.
Ohio State closing in on a 4th straight Big Ten tournament championship. It would be their 9th overall. They started playing the Big Ten tournament for men's tennis in 1999, so potentially 9 tournament wins for Ohio State since 1999 just shows how good this program has been since the turn of the century.
Yeah, since Coach Tucker took over, I think he has one of the highest winning percentages in the history of college tennis.
He's already become the Big Ten's winningest coach, and Brad Dancer is not very far behind on the list of the Big Ten's all-time winningest coaches.
Back in this game from Seelig, down love 30. It's a very, very important game. Big difference between 5-2 and 4-3 when you're trying to close this out.
Seelig has been one of the more animated players we've seen today, and he has every reason to be after winning that game to go up 5-2.
That's where I'd like to see Monty have a little more composure there instead of trying to hit a winner off of that return, get back into that point and try to work the point instead of just going for broke on that ball.
Tubert and Budic has been a very close 6 singles match since the conclusion of the first set. Zubert up 4-2, however, in the third. Still in the second set of one singles. And frankly, Chase, this match might not matter with the two remaining singles matches much farther along and Ohio State needing just 1 point. It's possible that this match will not even conclude.
That's where it can be tricky to stay focused on what you're doing when you're watching, your one teammate C-League up a set in 5-2, possibly closing out this tournament, and then Zubert also up 4-2 in the third. It'd be very easy right now for JJ to lose his focus and start watching those matches.
That was Budic with the serve, bottom of your screen, right-hand side. Wolf puts it back into play up top for Ohio State.
Big forehand by Wolf.
What else is new?
Yep, nothing new there.
That's a point for Seelig.
Seelig, man, he reminds me of a little pit bull. He just doesn't go away. Tough as nails.
He's had Monsi running around quite a bit in the second set, but remember, Monsi trailed by 3 points in the first set, rallied to force the tiebreak, and then eventually lost that.
Point that they played earlier is starting to wear on Monsi. Starting to check out of some of these points too early.
And Monsi is just a freshman. And it's an intangible, but Seelig has just got so much more experience. He's played in NCAA tournaments. He's beaten world number ones and number twos in his career. He just knows mentally how to get through a match like this.
Yeah, when I was on the team, Coach Tucker would always talk about we love when we can get a junior or senior on a freshman of another team like this. We've got match point here and an overall match point if you can close this out.
Championship point right here in 4 singles. Sifo Sintando Monsi to serve for Illinois. Usual for the Buckeyes. Their 4th straight Big Ten tournament championship. Kyle Seelig, the redshirt junior, seals the deal. And it's Ohio State's 9th overall Big Ten tournament crown. Ohio State takes care of Illinois 4-1, the final score. Another win in the Big Ten championship for the Buckeyes. We'll wrap things up after this. Well, this is nothing new for Ohio State as they don Big Ten championship t-shirts and hats, but you can certainly attest to this, Chase. It never gets old. Another Big Ten tournament championship for Ohio State, number 9 in program history, and their 4th straight. This is a Big Ten tennis machine that just keeps churning.
Chris, it doesn't get old. It's a lot of hard work that starts the beginning of each season, and even at the end of the season before, guys that stick around in the summer. So when you put that much into something, and now you're getting rewarded for all your hard work, and you're getting a Big Ten ring and a Big Ten trophy. in a way it gets old, but it doesn't get old when you're the players. It's just like, it's always a new experience. It's always something else. And, you can see the joy on these guys' faces right now.
If anything, it's got to fuel the desire to just get back to this platform, as the trophy is officially awarded to Ohio State. Kyle Seelig and Martin Joyce share it. Joyce, the taller of the two, is a senior. Seelig is a redshirt junior, so they came in the same recruiting class. It was Seelig who won the championship points for Ohio State, and they get a banner to boot.
Those two guys and Tubert are really considered some of the hardest workers on the team, and like the heart and soul. Look at these guys' faces right now.
Ear-to-ear grins. And for Ty Tucker on the right, that's a beaming smile by his standards.
That's about as close as you get to a smile from Ty.
As you saw a moment ago, Ohio State, the regular season champions as well, and you see the number 4 being flashed by some of the players. 4 Big Ten championships in a row for Ohio State. You said that once Ohio State won the doubles point, it was going to be really hard for Illinois to come from behind in the singles portion. But was there a turning point in the singles portion in particular for you, Chase, as we look at the singles results?
If we look at it, I would say when Tubert went up in the third set was an important moment because of how that changes the momentum for the team and how other guys can look at it and be like, you know what, look, Tubert's coming back in that third set, we can relax and try to win our match and not worry as much.
Final thoughts on Ohio State, the legs that they might have in repeating as NCAA tournament finalists?
It's time to get to work. So outdoor season's coming up, and the NCAA tournament is all outdoors, so they've got to get outside and work really hard.
Well, that'll do it for the 2019 Big Ten Men's Championship. It's Ohio State who takes care of business, and a special thanks to the University of Michigan for their support putting on this event. 4-1, your final score, Ohio State, in the 2019 Big Ten Men's Tennis Tournament. They are tournament champions. For Chase Buchanan, I'm Chris Fosters. So long from Ann Arbor.